Hello everyone and welcome on De Papier et de Rêves channel. I'm Ursula and today I will be painting with you some frosted hyacinth. For this painting I'm using a technique to protect white, a bit peculiar. I'm using a white wax pencil and when I put it on the paper it will repel all the water from the area, so I will keep the white very white this way. There is a lot of techniques to protect white, one with masking fluid, but I don't know, I do not like this technique because often it tears the paper off and it's quite hard for the brushes. It can damage them quite a lot, and it's not as expressionist as other techniques. My favorite way to keep white is just to avoid this area, but I do like to use this wax pencil also because it gave a nice texture and it's a easy way to go. So I'm starting my first wash with some Cerulean blue, a little bit of Rose Madder Lake and Verona Gold Ochre, in order to have very soft colors for the first wash. I do not want to go too strong in colors too quickly. But you can already see the area where I put a little bit of wax pencil. They appear very white against my first wash of colors. It's quite hard to put this wax pencil on the white paper because it's white on white, and sometimes you do not see where you put the wax pencil and where you didn't put it. So yeah, you have to think about that too. One thing to keep in mind when using this wax pencil, you can only use it on some area you want to keep it white until the end, because you cannot remove a wax pencil, so this area will stay white forever. My reference picture is a very old photo from my parents' garden. So in the photo there is just hyacinthus in some dying herbs during the winter, so there is a fine crust of frost on top of it. There is a lot of information on this painting, and I have to simplify a lot and abstract a lot of information to get to the point I'm here today, and I made several tests before, and at each test I was removing some information in order to simplify my painting and simplify my work, so that you can see really what I want for you to see. Of course, you can see my reference image and my test before this one on my blog, so you have the link in the description if you are interested, and yes, check it out because it's very interesting. So in my first study, I've made almost a realistic version of my photo. It's not totally realistic, of course, but I've put all the information I was able to see on my photo in my painting. So it was a little bit too much, of course, but it was a step I needed to do in order to know what I can remove from this painting, and in order to focus my focus point and what I want to say in this painting. In my second study, I've removed a lot of information, especially on the background, because the background were very too busy and it was attracting the eye of the spectator towards the background and not toward what I want the spectator to see. So I remove a lot of information of the background, mostly. But it wasn't aerial enough and poetic enough for me, so I wasn't happy with it, and I made some mistake with my choice of color, but well. And now in today's painting, I think I've managed to paint what I had in my head, something more aerial, something more poetic, and something more light and wintry, if it's a word. And maybe you cannot say that it's hyacinthus flowers in this painting, but I don't care, because you can see that it's flowers and they are frosted, and that's my point. To get this wintry aspect, I'm using a lot of cold colors. First Cerulean blue, and I add a little bit of Indanthrene blue too, because Cerulean blue is a bit too light. It's nice for texture because it's a granulating colors, but it's not strong enough in the dark. So Indanthrene blue is very complementing colors because it's almost the same hue but darker. To that colors I've had also a little bit of Rose Madder Lake, quite cold also, and I have nice violet with Indanthrene blue, so I keep everything cold. But in order to get this very cold effect, I've also add Verona Gold Ochre, which is a warm color. But the contrast between cold and warm will make the colder color colder. It's always interesting to have this contrast in a painting. It will bring those cold color to life and make them pop a little bit more. On a more technical side, this painting is a little bit different than my other painting. My first layer is very loose, with no details at all, just an impression of colors. And my layer after that are just details, in fact, because everything is already on my first layer and I've just to bring them to life. And you can see, I think, that I'm going very slowly in the details, because I do not want to put too much color at one time. I want to be able to build my flowers as I see them with a little bit of time, and I take my time to watch what is going on my painting. And you cannot see them because I've cut a lot of footage on this video where I was just waiting and watching where I can add another flowers and where I can add some sort of shapes, and I was very careful in building my image. And also, when I use light layers as today, I'm able to correct mistake a lot easier because it's lighter, so I can manage to transform shapes as I want. And when you're starting in watercolor, it's quite a nice thing to know. Building colors slowly will help you to gain a little bit of confidence in your painting. But let's talk about supplies. For the brushes, I've used an Escoda Aquario number 18 and a Raphaël Petit Gris 803 number 2 and an Escoda Reserva number 6. For the color, I've used a Cerulean blue, Indanthrene blue, Verona Gold Ochre, and Rose Madder Lake. I've also used this wax pencil. A bit later in my painting I will use also an acrylic pen, an acrylic white pen, which is permanent, and a toothbrush. And my paper is from Saunders Waterford in rough. And I've chose this paper instead of my Arches Rough because it has a little bit less texture, and the wax pencil will be able to be present in a little bit more space because it will get just in the top of the paper. And now it's time for the last little details. I'm using this marker, white acrylic marker, to make some dots of white on my colors in order to get a little bit more frost effect on the flowers. Because with wax pencil you cannot see where you put wax and where you didn't put it. So I think I was a little bit shy with the wax pencil. And I came back with the acrylic marker in order to have a little bit more white. I'm quite happy with this painting at the end. It's quite aerial and loose and expressive, so that's a good thing for me. I love the effect of wax pencil, and I'm looking forward to use it in other situations. I think there is a lot to do with this little pencil. And the video is now ending. Thanks for watching. I hope you like it. Please check the blog post for more information about this painting and tell me what you think in the comment below. See you soon.